Goes so quick. Are you saying I'm not hip?
There was in my message that, yeah.
Although, is using the word hip?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty telling. As we were.
You have your badge yet? For real? That's true. I know. I forgot. Did they do what they had to do a fingerprint?
All right, you guys ready?
All right.
Do I have the?
It's in the folder.
All right, we're going to open the open mic session. The open mic session is designed to provide an opportunity for citizens to express their views on matters of concern to the school committee. The sessions are not designed to encourage debate or lengthy exchange of views, but are to have the committee understand numerous points of view. The committee would appreciate speakers keeping their presentation to 3 minutes in order to accommodate as many people as time permits. The chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers on the same topic to 3. All speakers must be at least 18 years of age or enrolled in high school, Inland Public Schools District, and having discussed their views with a student government representative. The chair reserves the right to rule the speaker out of order if they feel that the speaker's comments are personal in nature. If the speaker's comments are directed at a school committee member or a member of a school administration in attendance, that member, through the chair, may address the individual. If no one signed up, does anyone here wish to speak at open mic? Please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Denisa Lopez, and I am at 270 Chatham Street. Happy New Year to all, and congratulations to everyone who participated in the city's inauguration event. It was a beautiful night full of joy and hope during these sad times. I'm here to urge Lynn Public Schools' support for the right to read legislation and thank Representative Sean Reed for his vote to approve this bill. He, along with 154 other reps in Massachusetts, made an excellent decision to move this valuable proposal forward. The policies outlined in this bill will dramatically improve literacy outcomes for our students. 30 states have already adopted similar policies in recent years. For example, the states of Mississippi and Louisiana have shifted instruction outlined in this bill and experienced incredible reading growth. In Massachusetts, communities such as Boston, Concord, Lowell, and Methuen have also made the transition. The proposed teaching methods will benefit all students because they will be taught how to decode and spell in a systematic way. The methods outlined in this bill will reduce the pressure on parents to pay for expensive private tutors and will reduce the needs to involve lawyers. I have been a reading specialist for the past 15 years and can cite many examples of how structured literacy and the science of reading have not only improved literacy outcomes for my students, but their mental health and self-esteem. When students are taught to read, the sun shines brighter for them. They enjoy coming to school, therefore attendance improves. They are able to complete their assignments, therefore disruptive behaviors are reduced, and they begin to invest more in their education and in their future. LPS is on the right track, but in order to fulfill our mission statement to prepare students to embody our portrait of a graduate, we need to evolve. These transformations do not need to be drastic nor expensive. These transformations do not limit teacher creativity, nor will they impose blanket curricula that may offend veteran teachers. These changes will ensure that students learn to read and write on grade level. The city of Lynn was the first to have iron workers, the first to have fire engines and jet engines and electric streetcars. It would be amazing if the city of Lynn was the first gateway city to ensure that all students fulfill their right to read. Please contact your Massachusetts senator and encourage a vote yes for this right to read bill. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak at open mic? What's that?
I just have a question. After that.
Yeah.
More of the right to bill, like if we could have that sent to us.
Sure. Yep. Yep. Anyone else wishing to speak at open mic? Last call for open mic. All right, we will close the open mic portion of the evening and open the first regular meeting of the school committee. Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Present.
Member Gately?
Present.
Member Ortiz-McGrath?
Present.
Member Pena?
Present.
Member Satterwhite? Present. Member Smith?
Present.
Mayor Nicholson?
Present. everyone could please rise who are able for a salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Hazel Dufour, retired housekeeper, passed away December 19th, 2025. Thank you. Next item is the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the policy subcommittee on December 18th, 2025, and the second special meeting on December 18th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we have a review of the operating protocols. Those are in your packet. You will see them dated April 10, 2021. So this was something that the previous committee had worked on over the course of a couple of years to establish how we want to conduct ourselves as a committee and interact with the administration. I think Superintendent Cohen and as well as myself thought it would be helpful to revisit these, particularly in welcoming our newer members. So Superintendent Cohen is going to walk through them. And just to point out that these are also, our protocols in the sense that if we want to revisit them at any point, we can do that. But this is what we currently have in place.
Thank you, Mayor Nicholson. Good evening, members of the school committee, Mayor Nicholson, and community members joining us tonight. First, I want to extend a warm welcome to our two newly elected school committee members, Member Ortiz-McGrath and Member Smith. This is your first regular meeting following the inauguration earlier this week, and we're glad to have you join us in this important work on behalf of the Lynn Public Schools. We also welcome our new interim deputy superintendent, Lori Gallivan, who brings a strong track record of school and district leadership and deep roots in this district. We're excited to have Lori join us on senior leadership at this pivotal moment. As we begin a new year with fresh energy and shared purpose, I thought it was the right time to revisit foundational documents. The school committee operating protocols adopted in 2021 can be found in your packets, and they can also be found on the website, www.lynnschools.org. These protocols, developed collaboratively under the previous administration or a previous administration, remain relevant and essential today. They offer a shared commitment to our roles, our relationships, and our responsibility to the students, educators, and families of Lynn. We'll then shift gears to celebrating some successes we've had in programs, processes, and our people established in 2025, concluding with some other shout-outs both for our people and for our programs. As always, I want to ground us in the Lynn Public Schools core values. You will see these values illustrated in our processes, programs, and people that we'll be featuring this evening. As Mayor Nicholson gave some context around how these were shaped, I just want us to be looking at them in three buckets: supporting the educational welfare and well-being of students, dedicating ourselves to establishing and maintaining effective communication, and demonstrating professional and collegial relationships with one another. So I thank the mayor for providing that context. Now I'd just like to show to you how it comes alive in the work that we do. So this slide shows the exact language that's on the website. So this is exactly the statements that were crafted together by the school committee and the superintendent and the mayor. And then looking broadly at them, this image demonstrates, as you can see, the direct correlation with prioritizing students incorporating stakeholders, and establishing clear goals and responsibilities that hold us accountable to student outcomes. This principle is a lengthy one, as tone truly shapes what is possible. Here you will see all the different ways how we must be guided in our professionalism. When I say how, imagine each letter to be capitalized and represent honesty, openness, and willingness to work together to be proved for our best outcomes for our students. By setting a positive tone, understanding our roles clearly, and channeling information in a timely manner, we can achieve school and district improvement. As I said earlier, a positive tone threads through several specific behaviors, such as recognizing proactive communication, maintaining confidentiality, welcoming all concerns and complaints, and channeling them to the appropriate role, working collaboratively, and honoring our norms. If we think of it as a staircase of how we interact and engage together in problem solving, it begins with honest and open communication and engagement with one another in our diverse roles and helps us to arrive at shared beliefs. The third guiding principle is directed by trust. Trust to maintain transparency, trust to avoid bias, trust to honor the authority that lies in each of our positions, and then trying to agree on working together in the interest of highest good. Trust to acknowledge our business meetings must be effective and efficient, and trust in our leadership. The image that best suits these guiding principles is the infinity circle, which represents wholeness, unity, infinity, and cycles. On this board, we will be cycling through these different behaviors and decisions for moving the school district forward. At this time, we thought to pause and live by our core value of inclusiveness by inviting your voices in a discussion of reflecting on these operating protocols.
Which would mean questions or comments. Yeah, Member Gately and then Member Castellanos.
I have two questions I wrote down when I was going through this. In the past, or last year, we were able to contact the deputy superintendents if we had issues rather than just going through the superintendent. Will that be possible this year, this term?
Yeah, so this is one principle that goes, I'm going to go back for a minute around the roles, responsibilities, and understanding each of our positions in leadership. So I'm just quickly looking at the actual language that you had written. Channel requests for information, reports, and data through the secretary, the superintendent, and/or chair, rather than directly to staff. The superintendent will ensure that each member has equal access to this information in a timely manner. That's the one you're talking about. Yes. We were actually just discussing this. What's complicated that we have sort of run into is that our role is to support the processes, the protocols that happen in the schools. Mm-hmm. And your role is to share voice from constituents. But sometimes what constituents bring to you really needs to be brought to the principal or the deputy superintendent, right? And so we want as much outreach with families. We're asking, sure, you can bring the issue to us, but please encourage those families to go directly to school leadership, and if they don't get an answer with school leadership, then to come directly to the superintendent's office. What has happened is there's been some blurring of boundaries in terms of what the role of school committee is. So school committee is having a pulse on the community, on the constituents, hearing concerns, looking for patterns, raising issues, because you're hearing a lot from a lot of people. But what sometimes happens is somebody brings a pressing issue to you as a family member, and it is a pressing issue, but it's not your role to address that issue. We need to be able to address that issue. And sometimes family members go to school committee members before they come to the schools. So, you know, I think that what is helpful is working with the school committee secretary in regards of having a communication thread, you know, reaching out to Mary Jules on an issue, and then I see that and I know who it disperses to. Does that make sense?
So what if Mary Jules is not in that day? Do we just, what's the exception?
Yeah, well, I'm on all of the email to Mary Jules, so then you can send it to me, and then I can say, oh, sure, you know, one of the deputies, that falls into this deputy.
Yep, okay, and the other question I have is, reading through this, are we going to, like, as Building and Grounds Chair, a number of times there'll be an issue that very day with a building, like, say, for example, at Classical, the water coming down through the walls, and I want to get out there that day, but I have to give a 24-hour notice, which makes it very frustrating for me, because I like to see what's happening so that I can actually convey it to you or let you know how should that be handled.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent question. So again, when we think about the roles and responsibilities of membership, when there is a matter of building and grounds, that really falls to ISD and the school if we're working with like a crisis, let's call it a crisis. And then school committee, in terms of your role as the policy, as the building subcommittee member, subcommittee chair, excuse me, then your role is to guide the decision makings around building and grounds, but the boots on the ground, that's our job, is to maintain the schools. Does that make sense? I mean, yeah. So I'm thinking for you to be in the know, sure, but the decision making around what we need to do in a matter like that, I think it would fall to us, and I don't know if there's a problem with the 24-hour grace period.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you for that clarity. As some of my concerns would be to try to, mitigate interference on our end, like my end. Like, I don't want to interfere, as I know there's certain, issues that come about that have heavy implications legally. And I know we've had conversations recently in the past, how we're going to manage, like, those constituent concerns. I think the route to Secretary Mary Jules has been really helpful. She's been fabulous in helping us resolve and figure out where to navigate, a lot of these issues. I think sometimes our constituents do come in with valid emotions, and they are, very hot sometimes in some of our email chains that we end up on. I would ask that if anybody that has those type of email communications, whether it's the superintendent, because sometimes we get variations of different people, because they obviously these matters want to get resolved. But I would ask that either Charlie Gallo, our compliance officer, or also Attorney Greenspan does get prompted. They should have. We would not want to entertain or have that conversation or communications without them present, if that makes sense. Because there's conversations, there's also open meeting law. There's things that we have to recognize as committee members, that we cannot engage in conversation.
Correct, and confidentiality of student records, confidentiality of personnel files, all of those things cannot be communicated to school committee members, even though families have come to you. What I don't want to shut down is communication of concerns. So I don't want the message to be, oh, we can't express ourselves. Your role in the public eye is to work with your constituents, manage and mitigate some emotions, but the issue still has to come to us, right? And so I think the understanding there is when a family member, and I don't know, I'm going to open, this is a discussion, right? I'm not laying down mandate, but what makes sense to me is that when a family member sends an email with you on it, we take it. Like, you don't get involved. don't get involved. If they call you, want to talk to you, but when that email is put into that public record, email is public record, when it goes in there, we have it. If you see us on it, we have it. We take it up and we address it.
Can I add something to that? Because that'll make sense. And I think what in those scenarios, what's useful for members, or
Sure.
what I would find useful is for LPS to like confirm that in
Yep.
the email, so that
Yep.
like we're going to respond from here, so that the member understands that it's now being addressed, and then the member, if they so desire, can then follow up with the constituent and say, hey, I understand that LPS is working on it. If you have more questions, you're welcome to come back to me if you're not getting answers or whatever. But keep us posted how it's going, something like that.
That's one of my asks, is to make sure that we set clear parameters on that communication, or what that's going to look like, and also a progress monitor and some mechanism for us for the follow-up, because we always get the follow-up. I feel like most of the time, and it's the same, like nothing's happening, and obviously you guys have process, and then once we investigate, we find out later, oh, well, this is what was done, right? These are the steps that were taken. So it's like we get stuck in the middle, and then we're the ones who get attacked. We're the ones saying that you didn't look into it when we really are looking into it. So we need to increase transparency to the best that we can legally. I like what Mayor Nicholson actually just said. While you're there with us in the arena of communication with our constituent, is to make sure that, hey, like you're following up and this is what's being done. And we're not looking for like the perfect solution, but it's effort, right? And we're not always going to have every solution.
Sure. I want to name something because I don't want it to go by without being very clear. We can circle, so what I'm hearing is a concern comes into an email that you're on and we're on. We respond to that email saying, thank you, we've received this email, we will be taking this on the school side. Any follow-up back to you cannot involve confidential student records or personnel confidential records. I just want to be clear. So when we say here, we'll circle back to you, the circle back would be something like, it has been resolved. And then if the family member wants to talk to you, that's their prerogative. But we can't break that confidentiality.
Can you add a disclaimer I guess like when you email, I guess including a disclaimer on that? I think that'd be important too, just again, to increase more layers of transparency. Like, hey, we're looking into it, but this is the disclaimer. We're not able to discuss personnel. Kind of just
With all these members on the
protects
email.
everybody.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the families that are in possible crisis,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes looking back, if you emotionally start sending out emails, maybe you might some of those things do change. So, and again, I think having a disclaimer, a clear, concrete parameter, and I think that's going to allow us to develop the norms and boundaries that initially this document was set out to accomplish. But right now, it's good that we're having the conversation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and what if,
Sorry, I had Member Pena, and then Member Satterwhite, and then Member Smith. And we'll come back.
Thank you for, going over the protocol. Most of the time when I get contacted by constituents, it's because the communication hasn't been well with the local leadership, like at the school or whatever. So that's when I get communicated. So what you're asking is the proper, because, the natural tendency for me is there's an issue with either attendance, transportation, which since I have those relationships, I just try to direct, but the proper way that the channel is to go through our secretary, where everyone's alerted and you're directly notified with the situation.
Yeah, and if I
Exactly.
may, it's around like layers of leadership and ensuring that the layers of leadership are in the know. And so in reorganizing, I'm looking toward renaming the deputy titles to
Yes.
be titles of the buckets of our priorities. So Deputy Superintendent of Student Services, Deputy Superintendent of Academics and Instruction, Deputy Superintendent of Operations, Equity, Accountability. So they have those buckets. And so because we would want to be able to support the families and the students throughout the entire layers of leadership. So if as a school committee member, you reach out to somebody below that layer, right? Now we're not in that communication, and we don't know that's happening, and maybe we are doing something over here that's involved in whatever that complaint is. Do you know what I mean? Or we're not doing something that is involved in that complaint, and we should be, and we would need to know it at our level. So that's why we would want that, like, vertical, hierarchical layer of communication.
And just to echo what, Member Gately was saying, we were directed last year that certain, we had deputies for like elementary, high school.
Correct,
yeah, so
correct. No,
different-
I understand.
needs,
I think
we-
this is the whole, like, 2026, new school committee members, new school side. If you, back to 2021, none of us were on
Yeah.
the school committee, except for Kevin. The very important financial through line, but, so that's why we're having this discussion. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Member Satterwhite.
So, thank you for clarifying. That was actually one of my questions as well. But I'm wondering, what are the boundaries on communication? And what I mean by that is like ISD. So, for example, I've had multiple constituents reach out, or even teachers who are questioning things that have happened within the school, whether we're on build underground or not. But they have been issues that I don't even know about yet. So is ISD supposed to, or is it you guys as leadership supposed to refer that back to us so that we're not kind of like clueless as what's going on as far as that goes of what happened in the school? So we can at least be able to address it and say, give some type of answer and not feel like we don't know what's going on. So we know that there's transparency there and can communicate it well.
Sure. Do you want to take
Sure. I mean, I think for significant issues, I think the school department tries to make folks aware, right? Like we get the emails from Mary or from Superintendent Cohen that the heat's not working or whatever it is. There will certainly be issues that happen in the building that are that you haven't been made aware of. Like the light's not working or something like that. And I think the idea is that you're channeling those requests to where it should go so that it can be addressed.
Okay, so basically priority is where you'd tell us the top things that come through that's more important? Is that how it works? I'm just wondering, as far as like ISD reaches out to you guys, right? And then you guys would come to us and only if it's super important.
Yeah, that has been the.
Yeah, because
the
a lot,
Okay.
even some building issues won't even make it to the district, right? Like the principal will work it out with ISD directly or with the custodian, whoever it is. And then some issues will rise to the level where they are going to the district, and the ones that that I think the district anticipates the school committee is likely to get calls on or hear about or that are of critical importance. That we're notified as a group via email that such and such happened. This is the plan, so on and so forth.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I just want
Yeah.
people to know that we're not made aware of everything that happened. So if we
Correct.
don't know, it's because we haven't been made aware of it yet. So just, thank you.
Correct. And I think, in fairness, it's confusing, right? That what school committee is and does and what the school department is and does. It does get confusing. There's like some crossover there. One of the things I wanted to say, though, around communication is we're talking about how to communicate the constituents' concerns about the Lynn Public Schools, maybe. But you, as school committee members, might say, geez, I'm noticing this trend or I'm noticing this pattern. I'd like to discuss it. I'd like to have more information about it. You can reach out to me and say, like, I'd like to see the data on blah, blah, blah. Would you do a presentation? We can talk about where that could fit in the agenda, that, on which month, which date that would make sense on the agendas that is moving us towards student outcomes, better student outcomes, right? So there's that type of communication is, you can bring to a meeting if you wanted to, if it was a concern or one of your goals or one of our goals. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay.
Member Smith.
Thank you. Yes. So I had a question about, in terms of professional and effective communication, in terms of the way that we communicate with each other. One thing that I notice is we're all currently using, I got this packet on my personal email. I think it would be prudent of us, I'm a big believer in policy and procedure, to have lynnschools.org emails that we really encourage people to reach out to us through that channel, because that way it ensures that things are, those emails that you're looking for are being grabbed by the superintendent and seen. I also was wondering about, just in, it's the 21st century, I mean, I had a parent reach out to me today on my personal Facebook. So would you be willing to give some guidance about how to send that up the chain in a proper way, just logistically speaking, and how we can make sure to.
Yeah, you want to?
Sure, yeah. Well, on the first point, I think some of the members have Lynn Schools emails, and you can certainly add the other ones, I would assume, yeah. So definitely can get you the Lynn Schools email. In 2026, there's lots of different ways to reach someone. It could be Facebook, Messenger, tag on Facebook, all the social media. If they see somebody in the supermarket line, I would suggest just like capturing it in an email yourself and then sending that to the superintendent or the secretary. One of the challenges in that mode of communication is the follow-up with the constituent, right? So I often will ask them for their contact information too, so that someone can follow up with them directly.
Yeah. And what if the constituent isn't satisfied with the results? What do we do then?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question.
'Cause that did happen
There's not
this
going to be a
fall.
right answer, or an easy answer for that. I think that that's part of an ongoing dialogue, because the school department can resolve an issue from their perspective, right? And then the constituent may not be happy with the resolution, and we each need to learn and decide how we handle those kind of situations as elected officials. My advice is to try to understand like what the frustration is, right? And then try to understand why the administration made the decision that they did. There's maybe an opportunity for feedback, at least sharing, what the frustration was, and maybe an opportunity for clarification, right? Like sometimes things get lost in translation as to why certain things happen. But there's no way to make that go away. That's gonna happen.
I sent it to you. Because it came from another elected.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And one other thing, I just wanted to ask, and Member Satterwhite was questioning about buildings and grounds. In the past, I was able to have a monthly meeting with Deb, Ruggiero, and Mary, and all the buildings and grounds materials that were going on. I would have notes and then send it out to the committee so they knew what was happening in all these major projects that we're having. So we can still do that.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I'll still do that.
No, I'm just going to comment on, not resolving everyone's issue. That's why equity is not a one-size-fits-all, right? That's why we have to be, like Molly mentioned, open-minded, willing, and
Thank you.
open-minded and
How
willingness.
honest, open-minded,
Honesty
and
and open-minded and
Thank you,
willingness
thank
to do what it takes.
I do have a question.
Sure.
So I know that we have multiple committees, and just like the building and grounds, are we going to be getting updates in regards to each subcommittee so that we know what is happening?
Yeah, so typically the subcommittees meet just before the full meeting, and typically the practice has been that we're all here, and so only the members are voting on the subcommittee items, but we're all here and getting the information, and the documents that go out in the packet that are particular subcommittees, those are in everybody's packet.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, for that, to piggyback off that, the chair usually will be in communication with the subcommittee. So, hey, like, here's some updates, kind of like Lorraine's chairwoman of Buildings and Grounds. She'll send us, I'm on the subcommittee, she'll send us information, anything in between the meetings or anything to look for, any growing issue, a trend, or something that we have to be, that we might have to elevate. The subcommittee is that vehicle. Like if you have an idea, an initiative, or you have concerns, it's a very specific, specialized pathway and channel. So that's a really good point. And I think over the years too, sometimes we don't really necessarily utilize the subcommittees, but we'll bring it to a whole committee So that's another, maybe the mayor might want to talk about that, as we'll probably be doing some updating there.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know either.
So, we're a committee of 7. So unlike other legislative bodies that rely on subcommittees, there isn't the same sort of need for or ability for specialization, right? So I think because the practice, the culture has been that all the members are interested in all of the work. The subcommittees have not gone and done much on their own, as opposed to the discussion that happens at the full committee meeting. I think one exception to that has been the policy subcommittee, because of the work going through the policy manual that was like more specialized and time intensive, and so yeah. And then the other exception is around negotiations, which are meeting outside the normal sort of confine of the school committee. So
Little alarm.
and that I think that's worked, for us. So okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Motion to take a quick recess to see, or we're good?
No, I think we're good. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for leading that discussion, Superintendent, and for the thoughtful comments and questions. We appreciate it.
Okay, so yes, thank you for that insightful discussion. Now we're going to take advantage of the first month of the year and the first meeting of the new committee to look backwards and celebrate some of our accomplishments in 2025. We've organized this part of the presentation around 3 areas where the protocols show up most clearly in our work: programs, processes, and people. The programs we have underway are exciting and expansive, and we are excited to share a few of them with you. Our team continues to advance several transformative programs aligned to our strategic goals. Each one is a reflection of our district's commitment to student-centered growth and success. We'll each illustrate the work that has been underway. I have the privilege to speak about pre-K. Over the past few years, we have steadily increased our capacity and access to pre-K for Lynn families. Last year, LPS had 460 total seats, and this year we have 693. A 52% increase. As many of you know, we have, all right, thank you. As many of you know, we have recently modified one of the policies to potentially expand access to eligible 3-year-olds. We have created a task force that is collaborating with the mayor's office on a pre-K ecosystem analysis to continue this important work for many Lynn families. We'd like to thank Jackie Gallo for her early child learning passion and vision, and Shingi Mutasa, the superintendent's fellow, who is leading this task force, which is very exciting. Normally, Shingi is here, but some family obligations took him out tonight. But you will all have the pleasure of seeing Shingi again as we present those findings from that task force.
And I have the privilege of talking about some of the new programs that the MLE department has implemented. They implemented a district-wide ESL professional learning hub by partnering with West Ed and utilizing English Learner Grant funding. As part of the initiative, MLE launched the Quality Teaching for English Learners, a QTEL, you might have heard people talk about. And QTEL is a research-based professional learning approach that strengthens content-based instruction for multilingual learners. The training institutes provide collaborative hands-on learning experience in which participants engage in exemplar lessons, reflection, instructional analysis, and curriculum design. And the purpose of the work is to deepen the educator's understanding of the academic and linguistic needs of multilingual learners, building capacity to design and scaffold rigorous and engaging lessons, and apply meaningful feedback aligned to the principles of quality teaching for English learners. This initiative supports educators in promoting high-quality, equitable instruction that benefits English learners and all students. And at the same time, the MLE department also implemented Flashlight 360, which began in the 24-25 school year across all secondary schools. Flashlight 360 is an innovative progress monitoring platform developed by Flashlight Learning to support multilingual learners by strengthening speaking and writing skills through personalized, data-driven feedback. The platform enables educators to assess and monitor language development, track student progress over time, and tailor instruction to meet the development needs of the diverse learners, particularly students learning English as an additional language. And during the first year of implementation, LPS saw an improvement in the speaking and writing domains at the secondary level. Building on the success, the MLE department expanded Flashlight 360 to 7 elementary schools in the current school year. And in addition, Flashlight 360 provides Lynn Public Schools with beginning, middle, and end-of-year benchmark data, offering continuous insights into student language growth throughout the year. And this complements the access testing that we're doing right now, which provides a single annual snapshot, as most of you know, and strengthens the district's ability to monitor progress and adjust instruction in real time.
Read and Write is a collaboration between the Special Education Department as well as our Multilingual Learner Education Office. And it is a literacy software and extension that provides text-to-speech, word prediction, dictionaries, translation, and highlighting to help users, especially those with learning disabilities, improve reading comprehension, writing, and research skills. It offers features like screen masking for focus, text simplification, and proofreading tools to support independent learning and make digital content more accessible for everyone. Read and Write has features that increase comprehension and expand language skills, and all students in LPS have access to this program on their devices.
Thank you. So allow me to give you an update on CTE and innovative pathways. And I'm sure you're all very familiar with the acronyms that exist in education. So allow me to say that CTE is Career and Technical Education. So for our CTE updates, Part A applications have been approved for environmental sciences at LVTI and business technology at Lynn English and Lynn Classical. DESE has recently visited both Lynn English and Lynn Classical to take a preliminary tour of those spaces. And they agree that those spaces are going to be a great fit for those programs. Part B of those applications are due in March. The Innovation Department, under the leadership of Dr. Shannon Gardner, is also working with CASA and Principal Norkin on innovation pathways in advanced manufacturing and information computer science. Those applications are also due in February. So Dr. Gardner is very busy. The Innovation Department is also working on expanding work-based learning opportunities for our students in this district through the expansion of our partnership with Lynn Community Health. And we talk a lot about in education about giving our students real-life opportunities and real-life experiences. So this partnership is going to create 70 additional seats for our students to take part in those opportunities. And finally, I would like to acknowledge Principal Fabiano and her team at FDCA who helped establish this program. And in just 3.5 years, we can proudly say this spring we will celebrate the first graduating class in June.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. We also strengthened the system that sustains this work, a more collaborative budget process using Allaview and incorporating stakeholder voice earlier in the process, better alignment between our district strategy plan and DILT work, our metrics, and greater use of tools with a DocuSign and attendance monitoring cycles to ensure transparency and accountability.
Our attendance monitoring cycles have been underway, and they are under the direction of our amazing attendance department, led by Gianni Bird and Kristen Freyer. And they've been working hard with all 29 schools and their school-based attendance teams and families. We brought individual school data to the whole group at our November principal meeting and shared resources and strategies among the principals, and we'll continue to progress monitor at our January principals meeting. And so far, our data is looking very positive for attendance.
One of our initiatives that's going to be coming soon in our HR department is we are going to be distributing stayer surveys to teachers at different stages of their career. to better understand those factors that support retention in Lynn Public Schools. So the results of this survey, the data that we get, is going to provide us school-level insights into what's working well. It's going to allow us to highlight the trends among our educators and help identify those emerging challenges before they lead to turnover. We need to make sure that we're creating an environment here where our teachers are satisfied and want to stay. That data will allow us as leaders to make decisions around professional development, to better support our teachers, to create mentoring opportunities, staffing opportunities, school climate changes, and all the while strengthening district-wide culture and improving our ability to attract and, more importantly, retain high-quality educators.
Thank you. And of course, none of this happens without people. As named in my entry plan, we are committed to regularly lifting up the excellence and dedication of our staff. Tonight, we celebrate 4 team members who exemplify that commitment. I know.
Sorry. So we would like to thank Jamie Colon for modernizing our budgeting system with Allaview and offering continued support as our leaders learn this new platform. It's been invaluable. Sorry.
We would also like to highlight Nicole Hagstrom for her transformative leadership in redesigning the grants office. I'll speak a little bit about that later.
And we are especially grateful to Ara Martinez for expanding her impact district-wide as our McKinney-Vento liaison. Audi stepped into a district position we created in a time of great turbulence in the SEL department. As you may recall, the executive director of SEL was removed from the organizational chart in last year's budget, which left the office with 2 assistant directors. Audi came over from her position as a beloved FCC at Breed, my former home, to support the imperative work from her of providing services to families who are experiencing homelessness. We are very grateful for Audi's skills in building trusting relationships and providing hope and healing for both of our students and families.
Debbie Morrell. Debbie Morrell is the Director of Educator Quality, and Debbie has been a longtime member of Lynn Public Schools. She is a superstar, and she is always working hard behind the scenes. Her work includes progress monitoring, licensure, and compliance tracking. This dedication that she exhibits every day has assured accuracy and accountability for our educators. She is the go-to person for everything certification in Lynn Public Schools. Most recently, we have adopted the 2024 Mass DESE teacher rubric, and Debbie was instrumental in the training for our administrators and our educators on that new model evaluation tool. So thank you, Debbie.
And thank you to all 4. As we look ahead to 2026, we do so with optimism, focus, and a deep belief in our shared mission. Our work is complex, but also deeply rewarding. For example, committee members, you will find lovely pictures in your packet, and I'm just going to take a moment to celebrate you, because as we highlight some recent events, we look at the inauguration earlier this week. So a congratulations to Mayor Nicholson on his 2nd term, and to all of the school committee members, including our new members. LPS students were on display. Cobbett 2nd graders led the Pledge of Allegiance. The Lynn English JROTC unit was part of the Honor Guard, and the All-City Band performed. Lynn Tech cheerleaders welcomed guests, and Tech Skills USA members helped serve the food. It was a great night for the city and a great night for LPS. We also want to thank the talented tech student, Crystal Fernandez, if you recall, who sang the holiday carols for us in the last meeting, and she was really the spirit of performance, I must say.
And danced at the inauguration.
That was her. We talked about that. Yeah, she is very, very talented and a real risk taker. That's what I appreciate the most. Also this week, on Wednesday, we joined with the Rotary Club, Reading Cooperative Bank, and McGrath Enterprises to distribute dictionaries to third graders across the district. This is an annual event that our students look forward to. I know many school committee members, city councilors, and other public officials participated at various schools. We were happy to have the mayor with us at Shoemaker. We appreciate the partnership, Rotary, and those civic-minded businesses who continue to support the Lynn Public Schools. So, let's see, I lost my place. With strong leadership, clear protocols, and a community-centered mindset, I'm confident in where we're going next. There is so much to share about the plans we have underway, but I leave you here with some future presentations on the foundational work we'll be sharing with you in the next few months. So we'll look at the program of studies, the MTSS platform, and a comprehensive professional development plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those sharing all that. It's very exciting updates. Thank you to all the educators and families who make it possible. Any questions?
I have one.
Yep, Member Castellanos.
Just to clarify on the Lynn Community Health Center, so we have students going to Lynn Community Health on their site, or are they going to be at their origin of school?
Oh, I don't know if Dr. Shorter, if you wanted, Dr. Shorter, Dr. Gardner, did you want to speak to the LCHC work-based program?
You gotta come up to the microphone, though, please.
Sorry, Dr. Gardner. I'm so sorry, everyone.
You have to speak up,
Yeah,
too.
just need that clarity.
What can I tell you about it? You just want to know kind of just
the layout of it, just so it sounded really awesome, honestly. I just would like to hear a little bit more.
Yep. So we have students in it now, and they have a block in their schedule. It's called Executive Internship, and it's 2 days a week. And they leave and they participate on those days in work-based learning. And they're working with Lynn Community Health Center. They're working on a blood pressure monitoring project. And this is a 2-year program. So next year they're going to be involved in actual preparing for the types of jobs in the field that they could be involved in. And LCHC has been awesome. They had a great end of the year, beginning of the year, end of summer, beginning of year program where the kids met tons of people from the field and received mentoring, and they've gone on college visits, and there's a lot of great benefits to this partnership, and it just is going to expand.
So, Dr. Gardner, would the career paths? Are we talking like Department of Public Health? Are we talking medical assistant? Like what pathways are we? I guess the students are being. Which pathways are they able to really tap into?
So there's multi pathways within healthcare that are in demand fields right now. It's one of the biggest in demand fields. So. I think that Lynn Community Health Center also has right here in Lynn, we have job demand from Lynn Community Health Center. But not every student in that program will land in a position at LCHC, but LCHC and that partnership is going to also expand out to partner with other healthcare organizations so that students can learn more about different positions that are available to them within that field.
Thank you. My last question is about the access. So, there's 76 seats additional. So, this is offered to Lynn Tech, Lynn Classical, Lynn English, or just?
It's Lynn Classical, Lynn English, and FDCA right now.
Okay.
Yep. And we do have health assisting at LVTI with their own co-ops. Yep.
Thank you. Member Pena.
We have some health-based centers right in the school.
Mm-hmm.
Are the students able to do some work in there, kind of like co-op in the health-based centers at the schools? Or do they go to the Lynn Community Health Center site?
They go to the Lynn Community Health Center.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not currently doing it like within the schools. It's a chance for them to actually, as seniors, go and do something different.
I was trying to picture something like that. As a senior, doing some kind of co-op, if they're into some, at the last phase of the, blood, monitoring program, if they're able to see some, because we have some health-based centers in some of the schools, right? Like Marshall and that I know of, some couple middle schools and some elementary. I was just wondering if they were able to use that as some access.
It's a good thought.
Thank you.
There's a thought, but there's liabilities behind that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Gardner. Very exciting. Next item, we have a field trip request, and I believe we have with us Mr. Winchester. I'd like to share what's in store.
Hello, folks. Nice to see familiar faces and new ones. The quick version is this is a program that was started 5 years ago, pulling out of COVID, just so you guys, all of you realize, like the students we have now are going to benefit people decades from now, even in this district, because 5 years ago, a gentleman started donating the money for this. It's a program that existed that kind of got killed by COVID. It costs $2,900 per student, and at the MBL in Woods Hole, the details are in the handout. But he's on the board of directors. He graduated from classical in 1967. His name is Saul Pinnell. He's a very nice guy and generous. He asked, as a board member, he asked the MBL, how can my classical students come to this program? The high school discovery program had just been up for a couple of years before COVID hit. And they said, well, you could pay for them. And he said, okay, how much? And then they contacted LPS, and then I kind of just stumbled into it because I was the most likely candidate as a marine biology teacher to talk to the people who wanted to. We basically helped them resurrect the program. You can kind of see that in the numbers. We did less than a couple of dozen kids the first year, and we did, I think, a dozen. We're up to 36 this year. That's the biggest number. And now 5 teachers. There will be 2 teachers in each course. And then I'm the trip leader. They gave me that position because there's 1,000 moving parts, you guys all know, as administrators. So I'm just the facilitator. He's the donor. The program existed. The kids are the kids. They're awesome. They love it. So we basically live there for a week, and that's why I have to be here to get your approval, because whenever any of our students sleep over anywhere, in-state or out. But I love it because it allows you guys to see all this work that you guys have to do leads to that. So, for 5 years, Saul has been great. I did the math this year, $500,000 over the past 5 years in tuition, because he pays for the teachers. The only cost for LPS, I know, let's get to the nitty-gritty, is you guys fund our bus. We have a charter bus to and from, 2 hours away, 2 hours back, and substitutes for the 5 teachers that disappear for a week. It's a dorm situation. It's very secure. No one gets out, no one gets in unless they're supposed to. The teachers' rooms are with the kids' rooms. The kids are paired up. They feed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner better than I eat at home. I come home with 10 pounds more than I went down with. So if you have any questions, because some of you might be finding out about this for the first time, I know half of you have heard of it before. I'll take any questions.
Member Gailey.
I've heard about it. I know about it. I would love to go with you sometime. And thank you very much for doing this. And thanks Saul for me. And that's all I can say. I love Woods Hole. It's the best thing. This is like wonderful.
Yeah, he went on to be I think, an investment banker and got rich and had a house in Woods Hole and ended up on the board. He liked the ocean a lot, obviously. And that's how, but those are the, all the kids, whether it's a work program with the health centers or just being exposed, the kids that I take, they see like, oh, there's a whole world out there. And Saul wanted to give that back. And every year, the district asks me, and I'm going to actually ask Saul, but can other schools, it's only seniors and juniors that can do it. And I always get asked, can other high schools in Lynn participate? And I say, well, he's an alumni of classical who wants classical kids to benefit. I can ask him, but I feel like he's just going to say, I'm not made of money. But maybe we could do a percentage. I think Saul might be open to that. So, and he comes and visits the kids every year when they're down there because he wants to see their smiling, excited faces in his labs and with the critters that we encounter. Any others?
If you haven't been to Woods Hole, you need to go.
Yeah, it's actually a kind of weird, perfect situation. So the kids think they're going on vacation, and they're like, "Can we walk around? Can we shopping?" I'm like, "There's nothing. It's a street. If Woods Hole is a street with a bunch of science things, and nobody's there in February but us and people who live there. They open stores for us a couple of days of the week because they're closed." Everybody goes to the Cape in the spring, summer, and fall. No one's there in February or March. So that's how this happened. They had all these facilities, and they said, let's get some high school kids to come and use our stuff, and their instructors are there and their researchers. So it's graduate level situations, and we don't overwhelm the kids, but so it's just, I thought it was, I didn't believe it when that first was proposed, and then when it happened, the dorm is awesome, and the facilities are. I had been there a long time, over my lifetime. So, if in the summer, if you're down the Cape, stop by Woods Hole. They have nice little pubs and restaurants and seaside walks and little museums and science places you can visit. There's a little aquarium too in Woods Hole. That's probably all it has as a tourist.
Put on your boots, go in the marsh.
Yeah. So,
Vegetation.
if you think it's still good, let's approve it.
What's the recommendation of the superintendent?
Absolutely, I recommend to approve this field trip.
So move. Motion made, a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Sadowite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. Thank you so much. Very exciting.
Thank you all,
Appreciate it,
and
yeah.
I'll give you an update at another time.
Yes.
Please do.
Thank you.
Please do. No, it's wonderful. Thank you. Next, we have some donations. It's a recommendation,
Yep,
superintendent.
I recommend to accept the books from AFT, Massachusetts, and Lynn Teachers Union in partnership with First Book to City Arts and Sciences Academy at Fect O'Leary. Deputy Superintendent Loof is just going to give a little bit of background. This is a really big deal. We're going to be celebrating this. We're going to be inviting you to come and celebrate this.
Yes, an LTU member at CASA reached out to the Lynn Teachers Union president, Phil O'Connor, who is here with us tonight. And Phil, along with AFT, made this happen, and we were able to purchase, hopefully, $10,000 worth of books that they're going to be getting for their new library, which will open next year. So thank you to everyone involved.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
And then another recommendation for acceptance is the Menino Construction in the amount of $250 to Fallon Elementary Student Activity Account, and the William Cammett in the amount of $250 to the LVTI classes of 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Still move?
Yep. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much to all the generous donors. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Can I make a motion to move up the communications and information to before executive session?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, thank you. So as we celebrated Nicole Hagstrom tonight and her outstanding work in redesigning the grants department, I'm pleased to share that we have created a new position, a grants administrator, that will help us improve our efficiency and timelines of monitoring the expenditure of grant funds. We are at this point, we owe this special thanks to Nicole's systematic and innovative approach that streamlines our processes and positions us to achieve greater success in securing future funding. I have a job description, and if anybody is interested, I can hand that out later.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yep, thank you. And speaking of grants, I'm very pleased to announce that we have received a $435,000 grant from the DESE that will allow us to expand our dual language program at Thurgood Marshall Middle School next year. We have more than 300 students at Harrington and more than 200 at Connery participating in dual language. The plan is to expand to Breed when the first group of Connery students reach 6th grade. As you'll recall, Harrington implemented dual language before Connery, and hence why they are entering middle school. So we're extremely excited about that. Mhm.
Is that the expansion of Compañero program?
Yeah, that's right. And finally, in other news, we're aware of the flu season, and it is in full force. So our nursing department sent a guidance to all families yesterday through Parent Square with valuable information on how to help prevent the spread and follow LPS guidelines for when students should stay home in the event that they have flu or other transferable disease, illness. And that's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Entertain a motion to go into executive session
So moved.
for contract negotiations with non-union personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Sadowite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
Let's go cover this guy.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
So good.
Someone told us, Lynn inauguration is really happening. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
So thanks to the mayor.
It's really good.
Whole team.
They all did
Full
awesome.
send.
Motion to move back into regular session?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. Motion was made and approved in executive session to extend the cost of living adjustments from the collective bargaining agreements to non-union personnel in the list that we received in the amount of 3% per year over 3 years. If someone wants to make that motion.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
and how it is. I want to be a president